Hey guys, it is Nick here with another Walking Dead What If topic. And guess what, guys? This is a big surprise for me just as much as it is for you guys. This is finally the remake to What If Rick Spared Shane, which was originally called What If Rick Didn't Kill Shane, my most popular series to date on the channel. Now, I'd originally wanted to do What If Kid Goku Went Super Saiyan, but a few people had been recommending me this, and I kind of wanted to do it myself, so here we are. Now, for those of you who don't know, maybe the 2% of you that haven't watched it, my What If Rick Spared Shane, or What If Rick Didn't Kill Shane, was basically the introduction to my YouTube channel, and it really spiked up over the months and everything else. So, here we are again, except this time with the remake. I am going to do what I really didn't do with the other story, which is paying attention to detail, because there was a lot of stuff that I missed out on, there was a lot of stuff that I didn't include, and just a lot of stuff that I could have done better, which is why this remake is here. And trust me, guys, you will not be disappointed. So let's set the scene. We start up in the field where Shane is getting ready to kill Rick after staging everything with Randall. Kinda how I started my first ever introduction to my channel and the series, but hey. Now, like before, in the first series, Rick, instead of stabbing Shane, disarms him with his weapon and gets him in a chokehold. And Rick looks him dead in the eyes and says that he has one of two choices. One, he leaves, never comes back, and gets to live on, hopefully, or Rick kills him right here, right now, because he's going to tell the group what just happened and that he tried to kill him, and there is no way that any of them, including Lori and Carl, will let Shane back in the group. So he can either take his chances out there or die right now. Shane, after hearing this, doesn't know what to think. He doesn't know whether to be proud of Rick for standing up, or angry and furious for giving him an ultimatum, and ultimately stepping up and yet not. He's doing the exact same thing with Randall, just letting him go. This is not what he was expecting. Sure, Rick stood up enough to catch him off guard and get him in a hold and everything and keep him from doing anything, but on the other hand, like I said, he's doing the exact same thing that he did with Randall, which is just letting him go. But Rick is dead set. Unlike with Randall, he's dead serious, more serious than he was with Randall. And he tells him, Shane, straight out, that if Lori and Carl aren't going to want him back, nobody is. And that he had his chances, and he blew it one too many times. This, right here, trying to kill him, has crossed the line. So, he asked, what's it going to be? And since Shane doesn't really have an alternate option, he just says nothing, breaks out of Rick's hold, and runs away, taking the option about living rather than dying. And Rick doesn't retaliate by shooting him and going back on his word or anything like that, because Rick still has his morals and everything else. He's still humane and still cares about Shane. He just doesn't want to worry about him killing him or anything. Sure, letting him go is still a threat, but he knows that if he were to come back, he can take care of him. He's made his point. Now, Carl, seeing Shane run off, because this was a longer stand than Rick being there and fighting Shane and everything, asks in a frantic worry why Shane is just running off. Rick tells him in comfort not to alert him that Shane has just gone to a place where they can all meet up together and that they'll see him soon. But whenever they all get to the clearing where they all did in the original story, because of the whole horde coming to the farm thing, Shane is nowhere to be seen, along with Andrea, because she's still gone, and everybody else that died at the farm still die, so nothing changes there. But whenever Shane is nowhere to be seen, Carl and the rest of the people question this, and Rick, feeling much better about himself, in a way, tells the group that Shane tried to kill him and staged the whole Randall thing. But instead of killing Shane, he gave him a choice. He could either A, continue to live out his days and actually get to live, or he dies. And Shane just ran off. And Rick says that he thinks that he's made his point. Shane had his chance. And as for Lori and Carl, they are definitely not upset with him about this. Sure, they might be a little bit because Rick kind of made a stand and forced him away, but he did try to kill Rick. So Rick has justification here. So the whole Rick-tatorship thing and the whole this isn't democracy thing wouldn't really play into true regard here because of Rick not killing Shane. So Rick is a much more soft person, so to speak. Now, Rick and everybody else still go through the winter, and the whole thing at the introduction to the prison plays out as you would expect. Now, let's cut to Shane. Shane himself has survived through the winter and has made do with whatever he can find. And honestly, he doesn't know what to think. He's been pushed away from Rick and everybody else in the group. He has basically nothing. Sure, that's what he wanted before, but he didn't really expect to be pushed out by Rick or anybody. But before he can process this any further, he sees two figures hiding in the bushes, one of which is a weird lady with a sword and long hair, and another, Andrea. He knew that face looked familiar, and after seeing the both of them, Michonne's on guard, but Andrea tells her to back off. She knows Shane and is happy to see him, and asks about the others. And Shane, not wanting to, blow his cover or anything, or make himself seem out of place or suspicious, says that he got split up from the group because of the horde that came to the farm, and that he's just living on his own, like he said he would at the farm, basically. Now, Michonne, she doesn't really know what to think of this, because you know how suspicious she was of the governor, and I'm sure with Shane, she would be on equal, if not a little bit under, as guard as she was against the governor. Especially whenever Shane takes control of the whole small group, and controls the both of them, and leads them. Michonne doesn't really like being bossed around, but seeing as Shane has some form of high demand and seems to know what he's doing, she goes along with it for now, especially since the fact that Andrea knows him. Soon enough, they come along the crashed helicopter, and the governor and all of his men checking it out. And that plays out as you would expect. The only difference there being is that Shane is there. But whenever Merle comes and surprises them, even with Shane, Merle still has the edge, because even if Shane were to do something, Merle not can only hold them at gunpoint and has the knife hand, but the governor and his men are around, so they have equal backup. So, honestly, there's no way that even Shane being here would stop Merle and all the governor's men from doing something to hold them. So, Shane, Andrea, and Michonne are all taken to Woodbury. Now, with Shane in tow, and him not getting killed, how will this, in this particular story, since it's a remake, affect the story this time? And how deep you think the story will go? And Will there be major differences unlike before? And that's where we leave things for the moment. I truly hope that you guys are happy to see this series come back as much as I am, and I hope that you guys are excited and thrilled for future parts, because this will be a much longer version of the story that you saw originally, and possibly near my longest Walking Dead story to date, besides What If Lori Survived. But I truly hope that you guys enjoyed this first part. Stay tuned for part 2 here pretty soon, and I will see you guys in the next video.